Okay, hiding here I have the next fidget spinner. This is from Vinon Labs, and it is the Sonder, which I have in brass Sonder. And the first impression of this is that it's a pretty big lump of metal. It's really thick, and it doesn't have a lot of cutouts, although it does have a few small ones. So it feels kind of heavy. I don't know how heavy it is yet, but it feels kind of heavy, and it seems to spin pretty well. Doesn't seem to be terribly difficult to use, but it also doesn't seem to spin very long, but I can't tell for sure yet until I test it. So it's interesting. It's a bit different. It's all very well rounded on the edges. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll find out. So I'm going to test this one out now. Okay, we tested the Sonder fidget spinner by Vinon Labs. This one was a little bit surprising. My initial impressions of how long it would spin turned out to be totally wrong. It's actually a very long spinner. It got an average spin duration of 10 minutes and 27 seconds. It spun a little bit longer vertically than horizontally, but not much, and there was some variability, but not a huge amount, so it got a little bit of a penalty for that, but not a great amount. In terms of, first off, on appearance, it's actually very attractive. It's got a really nice design to it. I'll put it up here so you can see it a little better. It's got these heavily rounded corners, and it's got these little geometric indentations in it, little cutouts near the buttons, so it looks really nice. I actually gave it an 8 for that. The feel is a different matter. It's a little bit more difficult to use than some other ones. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. You can get good throws on it with it, and you can get good pulls with it, but it takes a little bit more attention to what you're doing than with some others. I'm not sure if that's a bad thing. I'm sure some people who are really into fidget spinners wouldn't mind having something that takes a little bit more focus to use than some other things, rather than just flipping it around randomly. It's a little bit more difficult than that. So, and that's just the way it's designed. Another thing I would say about it is that, again, the buttons don't have a lot of clearance, so you tend to rub your fingers on the arms of the spinner when you're spinning it, which kind of slows it a little bit. Again, I wish the buttons were a little bit thicker, a little bit wider. I gave it a perceived quality score of 9. It looks very well made. It didn't seem to have any imbalance at all, and it's obviously got a very good bearing in it. So that's about it with that one. In terms of how you get these things, you can get these on the Vinon Labs websites. It's Vinon Labs website. This brass one costs $67. They have an aluminum for $37, a stainless steel for $82, and a titanium for $127. I don't know why the titanium is that much more expensive, but it is. This brass one weighs 118 grams, which is probably the heaviest of the bunch. So that's it. I mean, it's a really nice thing to have. I got an overall score of 8.4, again, like some of my previous ones here, which qualifies it as a superior spinner. It's really good on spin time. It's very attractive. A little bit more challenging to play with than some others, but that might not be a negative for some people. So that's it. That's the Sonder by Vinon Labs.